ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य तोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 29, verse 10 and 11. So we've been reading the beginning of Rāsa-līlā. Krishna played the flute to invite the gopis, and the gopis came. Some were stopped, but still they made it, and then there are others who could not make it. So these two slokas are talking about that. So they were closed inside the house and could not find a way to get out. Antargriha gata kaschip gopya labdha vinirgama. So Krishnam tad bhavna yukta dadhyur milita lochana, and they meditated on Krishna with closed eyes. And then these two slokas describe that how they felt very intense separation from Krishna, dussah prashtha, Vraha tivra tapa dhuta shubha, and thus all their ashubha, inauspicious things were removed, and when they got purified, they got spurti or appearance of Krishna in their mind as if he was embracing them, and this removed all their punya, auspicious piety. And then it is said that tameva paramatmanam jar buddhyapi sangataha jahur gunmayam deham sadhya prakshina bandhana. So then that end Krishna, although they meditated on him as their parama, so they gave up their gunmaya deha, body made of the gunas, because their bandhan, their bondage was immediately dispelled. So we read the explanation which Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said that this is the explanation for people who are bahirmukha, not devotees, or who are not who do not understand how bhakti functions. And now he will give the explanation, the internal explanation or the esoteric meaning of these slokas. So Purushottam Prabhu, you have some question?
The question here, the word is Mangal Sapta Vachyani and then say Kshinani. What is Kshinani?
Kshin
What is Kshin?
Means destroyed.
Shikshani, that is Bhavajan. So Shiksha means destroy.
Kshin.
So here is a mistake is there then?
Like in the sloka, you say prakshina bandhana. So
it should be Kshin here then. Kshinani.
Where is it?
I have Shikshani.
Where is it?
It's the Mangal Sabda Vachyani, just before the end of the 10th slok, 10th, pick on the 10th, the line before that. Brahman nu bhava sukha sahasrani Mangal Sabda Vachyani.
Yeah. So, Koti.
Spurti prapta preshta shleshot sukham viksha koti brahmanda gata visaya sukha nirvisaya brahma anubhava sukha sahasrani mangal sabda vachyani shikshani yad apekshaya nikrishtani eva babhu iti artha.
That's a mistake, it's a kshinani.
Okay, very good.
Any other question? Okay, so now he says that antarmukhan pratetu tadanim swapreshta viraha sanyogothani dukha sukhani aparimitani prapya labdha manorathya evata kramena babhuvrutya. So why he is giving this alternative explanation is that because the previous explanation was assuming as if these gopis still had some bad karma and good karma attached to them. And then it was explained how both were removed. But those who know how bhakti functions, then it is clear that in case of bhakti, there is no possibility that they had any good karma or bad karma. They were already beyond karma. So therefore that kind of explanation is not appropriate from bhakti point of view. It may be appropriate from Gyan point of view, but not from Bhakti Yoga point of view. So therefore now he gives explanation from Bhakti Yoga point of view. So he says that Swapreshta Virha Sanyoga Utthani Dukha Sukhani Aparimitani. So there are two things which are described in slokas. First is that they had intense feeling of separation from Krishna because they were not allowed to go and join him. And that feeling of separation caused a lot of suffering to them, dukkha. and that is aparimitani, there is no limit, because there can be various types of sufferings in the material world, but there cannot be more suffering than which is experienced by a devotee in separation from Krishna. Nothing can compare to that. And similarly, when they meditated, the Dhyumilita Lochana, then they had awareness or experience of Krishna's embrace. So then they experienced bliss, and this bliss is also unlimited. Aparimitani means incomparable. There is no happiness in the material world which can compare to that. So means they experienced both the intense suffering and intense bliss. And first one is because of separation from Krishna, and the other one is because of union with Krishna. So they experienced both Virpulambha and Sanyoga, separation and union. So therefore, Labdha Manoratha. So this is an important point. This is the reason that's why Bhakti is called Apratihata. Ahetki Apratihata Yatma Samprasidati. Bhakti is called that which is unobstructed. Means if one actually has bhakti, then there is nothing which can impede it. There is nothing which can block it, stop it, obstruct it. Why is that? Because if you are performing some activity, then you can give up that activity if you find something more pleasurable. Then you will drop that activity and do that. Or if that activity is giving you pain, and you can stop or do another one which gives you less pain, then you will do that. So meaning is that you can drop an activity for another activity which gives either more pleasure or less painful. But here it is described that the amount of happiness which they experienced was aparimitani, an amount of experience of not having Krishna means if you do not perform devotion, then the amount of suffering is unlimited. And if you are in bhakti, the amount of pleasure is unlimited. Therefore, there is no reason that why a devotee would give up bhakti. That's why it is called apratihata. So that is also the significance. So labdha manoratha evata kramena babhu. So therefore they attained their desirable object. First separation and then union. So this is what is being described in these two slokas, 10 and 11. So dussahena preshta virahena yastivra tapas tena dhutani kampite kritani ashubhani yabhista yasham. So how now it has to be seen, because the sloka says that dussaha preshta virahativra tapa dhuta ashubha, that because of the intense separation from their beloved Krishna, their ashubha or inauspicious things were shaken off. So he is giving another now twist on that, because the word here is dhuta. Dhuta means shaking. So if you see somebody suffering and you start shaking, you have empathy and you see someone who is suffering and such intense suffering that you shake. That's why in Sanskrit the word for compassion is anukampa. Kampa means kampan. Kampan means to shake. Anu means after. Means seeing that, just like you have anuman. So there is a mana and anumana. Prataksha and then anuman. Anu means after. So anukampa means that you see somebody shaking and then you shake. That's what is called empathy. So there is pathy and then empathy. So he's saying that all types of inauspiciousnesses in the world, when they saw the suffering of the gopis, all these inauspicious things started shaking. He said, oh my God, somebody can suffer this much? They were shaking. The inauspicious things which make others suffer, which shake everybody, they themselves were shaken. That is the meaning of dhuta, ashubha. That all these ashubhas, all types of inauspicious means all types of sufferings, whatever one can experience, mental, physical, etc. All this suffering, as if they are living beings personified, they all started shaking by seeing the suffering of the gopis. It was such intense suffering. So that is the meaning of dhuta ashubha. So that's what it says, that dussahena preshta virahena yat tivra tapastena dhutani kampita kritani ashubhani yavi. That all these ashubha, all the inauspicious things, imagine that there are personified suffering. Somebody suffering from migraine, somebody suffering from stomach ache, somebody suffering from headache, somebody suffering from cervical, back ache, and all these people are living beings. And they all saw the suffering of the gopis and they were all, oh my God, so much of suffering, we are nowhere close to this suffering, because they know what it means to make someone suffer. So that's what it says, kampite kritani ashubhani yabhista yasham preshta virha tapasya tivratam viksha koti brahmandastha badvanal mahakala kutadi rupani parah sahasrani api ashubhani swativrata ahankaram parityaj. So he's saying that the suffering of the gopis from the separation from their beloved Krishna, when it was seen by hundreds and thousands types of sufferings, not only from this universe, because there are millions of other universes. At least our Shastras say that there are millions and millions of universes. It says the sufferings of all the universes and various types of intense suffering, like forest fire, you are caught in the forest fire, Badvanal, Kalakuta, the poison which came out from the churning of the ocean, which only Lord Shiva has to take it. Everybody was suffering from that. He says all this, whatever you can think of, when they saw the suffering of the gopis, they dropped their ego. They became humble because they were very proud that we are also suffering. You know, we can make people cry. We really can trouble somebody. You know, the migraine was thinking, when I go to somebody, he's throwing up, cannot do anything. He has to lie down in a dark room. So now migraine got a migraine by seeing this. He was having a migraine. So they gave up the ego that I am some big suffering. So swiya tivra ahankara, tivrata ahankara, the ahankara of their own intensity, that how intense I can make someone suffer, he dropped that. He says, I could not believe that somebody can suffer so much. It's beyond my capacity. So they all got defeated by that. So parityajya swaparajaya buddhya chakampire. So they all got defeated, and therefore they were shaking. They were fearing that this suffering should not come to us. Just like it is said that the death personified fears, the fear personified fears Krishna. So these personified sufferings, they were suffering by seeing the suffering of the gopis. They were worried that this suffering should not come towards me. So that's why they were shaking. So that is the first part. That is the meaning of Dussaha Preshta Viraha Tivratapa Dhutashabha. And then he says that Krishnam Tad Bhavna Yukta Dhyana Prapti Achyutashlesha Nivritta Kshina Mangala. And then the next is that because they were meditating on Krishna, and meditation in separation is the most intense meditation, because when you are in union, then it is weak meditation, if at all there is. So he says Dhyana Prapta Achyuta Shlesha Nirvritya Kshina Mangala. So because of dhyana, they got the spurti or appearance of Krishna in their heart. Dhyanena prapta spurtya agato yo achyuta stena tadeva tadaeva udbhutasya prem purna chinmayasya tadris svabhava abhimanadi mato dehasya ashlesha tena ashleshena ya nivritti taya kshinani krishi bhutani mangalani prakrita prakritani yashamta. So then, because of their intense meditation on Krishna, Krishna appeared there. Tadaeva udbhutasya prem purna. So Krishna manifested his form there, which was completely transcendental, not material, and full of love. And tadrisa svabhava abhimanadi mato dehasya. So that body which had that nature and abhiman, ashlesha. So with that transcendental body full of love, Krishna embraced them. And that bliss which they experienced by the embrace of Krishna, then that made all the various types of auspicious things which give happiness, whether material or spiritual. In case of suffering, there was only material suffering, because there is no suffering in the spiritual world. So prakrita and aprakrita, all types of auspicious things, all types of things which can give pleasure, they all became weak kneed. Their knees became weak. They were hardly able to stand on the ground. They were falling down. It says, this much bliss, cannot imagine. So therefore he says, Yasam spurti prapta preshtha ashlesha uttham sukham viksha Koti Brahmanda Gat Visha Sukha Nirvishaya Brahma Anubhav Sukha Sahasrani Mangal Shabda Vachyani Kshinani. So by seeing the happiness of the gopis which they attained or experienced by the embrace of their beloved Krishna, the various types of happiness in the millions of universes, the material happinesses coming from sense objects, as well as happiness of realizing Brahman, Brahma Sukha, and whatever else can be thought of by the word Mangal, they all became weak in front of this happiness. So what does it mean? Yadapeksha nikrishtani eva babhu. So in front of this happiness, the bliss of the gopis, these various types of happinesses felt themselves as very insignificant, inferior, petty, insignificant. So Bhagavad Viraha Sanyoga Uttha Dukha Sukhabhyam Prarabdha Papa Punyani Nashtani Tesham Swafal Bhoge Ekanashyatvad Iti Vyakhyatu Vaishnavanam Mate Na Yujyate. So now therefore he says that to explain that by the separation their sins were dispelled, and by embrace their piety was dispelled. He says this type of explanation is not liked by Vaishnavas, devotees. They don't appreciate this explanation. So this is explanation by the people who do not know bhakti, and for them karma cannot be dispelled without having the experience of it. Na bhuktam kshiyate karma kalpakoti shatairapi avashyameva bhuktavam kritam karma shubhashubham. So whatever karma you perform, good or bad, you have to get the result of that. There is no way to get rid of it. Even after hundreds of births, you may get that, because it is not necessary that karma you get the result immediately. It may come in future life, even after 100 lifetimes it can come. Sometimes you meet the psychics, the mediums, or whatever you call them, and they say, oh, in this 15th century this happened to you, and that's why it's happening now like that to you. Yeah, they talk like that. In the 8th century you did this, now it is happening. So that is confirmed by the Na bhuktam kshiyate karma kalpakoti shatairapi. So those who think like this, obviously this is the thinking of those who are non-devotees, because in path of bhakti it is different. Bhakti is, for non-devotees it is true, it works like that, but for a bhakta it doesn't work like that. So that's why he gave a different explanation. So Bhagavad Viraha Sanyogayoho Pap Punya Phalatva Abhavat. So it says that separation from Krishna is not an outcome of sin. If that was true, then we all are feeling separation. Right? Everybody should feel separation from Krishna in the material world. If that was the outcome of sin. So it says this union with Krishna is not because of some punya karma, and separation from Krishna is not because of some pap karma. That's not true. So tadrishanam prarabdhanashastu bhajan dasayam eva anartham vritti bhumika arudhanam itya. So because for devotees, their prarabdha karma, their karma is destroyed during the stage of anartha nivritti. So adav shraddha tata sadhu sangha tata bhajan kriya tato anartha nivritti syat. So anartha nivritti is removal of the papa and punya both, because there are 4 types of anarthas, right? Sukriti uttha, duskriti uttha, aparadha uttha, and bhakti uttha. So good karma, bad karma, offenses, they all jumbled up as part of anartha. So that's why anartha nivritti is a tough state. So a devotee who has crossed anartha nivritti and come to the nishtita stage of bhakti is already free from that. And these gopis are situated on prema, so there is no possibility of any papa or punya, sin, etc. for them. So that's why this explanation is given. So now he comes to the next sloka, sloka number 11. This was the explanation of sloka number 10. So this sloka number 11 is a mysterious sloka. Number 10 was also mysterious type, but 11 is more mysterious. So he explained. So the sloka says, Tameva Paramatmanam Jar Buddhyapi Sangata Jahur Gunmayam Deham Sadyah Prakshina Bandhana. So the sloka is very simple. There doesn't seem to be any complication in there. It says that there the gopis, they gave up their body, Gunmaya Deha, body which is made of the gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, and they attained that very Paramatma, Tameva. Tam means that, eva means certainly, that one only means Krishna. who is Paramatma, although they were not thinking of him as Paramatma, they were not thinking of Krishna as Paramatma, but as their lover. So jar buddhya api sangata, they attained him and they gave up their material body, immediately becoming free from all the bondage. That is the straightforward meaning, but again this kind of meaning does not fit with gopis. So therefore he gives the hidden meaning. So tatascha tameva paramatmanam. So thereafter, then what happened after that? Tameva, that very person, paramatmanam. So generally Paramatma means super soul, the immanent being who is inside the heart. So that's not what it means here. Paramatma also means another word. It is made of two words, Parama and Atma. So Parama means supreme and Atma means object of love. Because what is the object of love in this body is the Atma. Not the hand, not the nose, not the cheek, not the wrist, not the teeth, although we think. But any problem with any one of them, you can pull out your teeth also and get replaced. But Atma is to be protected. Atma arthe prithvim tajet. Tajed ekam kulasya arthe. Gramasya arthe kulam tajet. Gramam janpade arthe. Atma arthe prithvim tajet. Protect your Atma at every cost. So Atma here means premaspadam. So that's what Yagyavalkya told his wife. Navare patyupre, navare pati patyu kamaya priyo bhavati. Patyu kamaya pati priyo bhavati, atmane kamaya. So that Atma is the Parama Premaspadam. So therefore the meaning of the word Paramatma here is the supreme object of love. And that is Krishna. So that means attain him. But it says that jar buddhya ati nikrishtya api sangata. But they are thinking of Krishna as jara. Jara means upapati. Jara upapati sama. So jara means not husband, lover, other than husband, other than person you are married to. That is called jara. You love that. Upapati, second pati, like a pati. So which is in the sense of criticism. So ati nikrishtyapi means that is considered as very, what you will call, immoral. Generally from religious point of view, if a married woman loves another man, then from religious point of view that is considered as unchaste. So therefore it says ati nikrishta. Sangata. Some problem with the internet? Mine dropped. So ati utkrishta pati buddhi matibhyo rukmani adibhya sakashadapi samyak prakarena prapta. So they attained Krishna jar buddhyapi. So that means they attained him better than them, because Rukmani etc. they are married to Krishna, which is acceptable by the society. But these gopis, they attained Krishna not like that, and yet they attained him better than them, better than the gopis. I mean, the wives. better than the wives. So this is amazing. That's why I said jar buddhya api sangata. So sangata means that they attained him nicely. And jar buddhya api means even though thinking in a nikrishta, inferior manner, they attained in a better manner. Rukmani invited Krishna to marry her, and Krishna went and married her. So that was better way in society, acceptable, honorable. But the gopis were thinking of him as a lover, which is not allowed, so doing it in a surreptitious manner, hidden manner. But they attained him in a better manner, which means more love. That's why he said that he was prema, purna chinmaya deha. So that is the meaning of sangata. Pati buddhe sakashadapi jara buddhau yadustajam sajan आर्य पथम च हित्वा भेजुर्मुकुंद पदवीं श्रुतिभिर्विमृग्य इत्यादि उद्धव वाक्य निर्धारितात निरंकुश प्रेम उत्कर्षात. So why we are saying that they attained Krishna better than Rukmani, etc. He says because Uddhava, who came from Dwarka and who knows the high position of Rukmani and other wives of Krishna and their relationship with Krishna, he was praising the relationship of the gopis with Krishna. That these gopis, I want to worship just one dust particle from their feet. Why? Yadustajam arya patham chahitva. That path of morality, that path of followed by high class religious people, they gave up that for sake of Krishna. Bhejur mukunda padavim, which even Shrutis are searching, even the Vedas are searching. So Uddhava is saying that the position of the gopis is higher than those of the wives. So that is the significance of the word sangata. That's what he is commenting on. Because their prem, he says, is nirankush prema utkarshat. Why gopis' situation is superior to the mahishis, the wives? Because the love of gopis is nirankusha. It is not restricted by anything. Ankusha is the god which the elephant driver, have you seen people who they have that like a small trident, that is called ankusha. God, yeah. So the god, so when he, small thing, but because this part of the elephant is the soft part, he hits there, the elephant get like a electric shock. So that is called ankush, means something which restricts your movement. You have to follow. Don't move this side, you'll get one like that. So nirankusha means that it is not restricted. So in case of the wives, the queens at Dwarka, their love is restricted because they have to follow the social custom. They cannot run like the gopis ran to meet. They are queens, and you know how many rules queens have to follow. They cannot suddenly walk out like that. It's not possible. Cannot, if they are eating, suddenly drop that and go and meet some. No way. They cannot even think. So they are not, their love for Krishna therefore becomes restricted. If they have to love Krishna, they have to also love in a royal manner. And that is a royal, loving in royal manner is not something great. It is boring.
Samanjasa and samartha.
So therefore, there are so many stories sometimes that royal people have affair with the simple people because they are bored of royalty. so sickening after some time. It looks appealing only to other people. They themselves are bored with it. These people in the royal palaces, they are the most bored people on earth. The rickshawala here in Vrindavan is happier than them. Yeah, they are very bored.
Queen Victoria had a whole thing with Abdul, one Indian who brought from Agra to serve her.
I don't know about that. So therefore he says that this is the meaning, that Sangata, that Nirankush Prema Utkarshat. Tatha, yes.
This reminds me the crying when the queens, they have to hold their crying when Krishna leaves the Dwarka. Or when Krishna left the Vrindavan, it is said that the gopis, they cried very beautifully, very nicely.
Crying. No, that is crying may not be such a good example, but if you remember in the first canto of Bhāgavatam, it is described that when Krishna returned to Dwarka, and then he was received, and then he met all the people, right? Met his uncles, parents, brothers, then he met his mothers, and then he went to his private quarters. So the queens were there, and what did they do? They sent the children. You remember this? It is described. They sent the children, and the son is embracing Krishna, and then they are embracing the son. They were not even directly embracing Krishna, because that is the royal protocol. So by embracing the son who has embraced Krishna, this is how they embraced Krishna. Because these are all. So this is the situation with the queens. So that is the Nirankush Prema Utkarsha here. Tatha asmin avatare nikrishta vastuni api utkrishta kurvatyeva lila drishyate. So therefore he says that in this particular avatara of Krishna, things which are considered as nikrishta, inferior, petty, insignificant, or even immoral, they are heightened up. They take high position. So for example, यथा महाराज राजेश्वरत्व लीलातः सकाशादपि विजयरथन कुटुंबे आत्तोत्रे धृति हयरश्मिनी तत्श्रिय ईक्षणीये इति भीष्मोक्ते पार्थसारथी लीलत्व लीलायाः उत्कर्ष. So he says, just see that in Dwarka, he is Maharaj Rajeshwar. He is the king of the kings. Big kings, even the devas were coming to pay respect to him. But then when Bhishma is praying to Krishna, what is he praying? He says, I am just meditating on your form when you are sitting on the chariot, driving the chariot of Arjuna. And you have this tick, 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 this baton in your hand, and your hair are having dust from the hoof of the horses. That is the beauty I am imagining. Ikshaniye. Dhrit haya rasmini, and you have the reins of the horses in your hand. So now this is a Tonga driver in India, you know. Have you seen Tonga drivers here?
Yes.
That's not something very high class position, you know. So now Krishna is driving the Tonga of Arjuna. And Bhishma says, that is the scene I am imagining. So he is a royal. He is not thinking of Krishna that he is sitting on top of an elephant and people are behind him and in front of him and singing, and the bards are reciting slokas and brahmanas are chanting Vedic mantras and so on. Nothing like that. He says this one, that Vijayaratha Kutumbe Atatotre, that you are on the chariot of Vijaya, that is Arjuna, and you have the baton and the horse reins in your hand. So he says that is Ikshani, and that is the most worthy scene I can think of. So why is it, what is so great? Because there was a love here. Krishna is not driving because he is going to charge some money to Arjuna. But I drove 8 hours, now pay me this much. No, it is out of love he is doing. So what is being remembered is that how much love he had for Krishna and what kind of intimate relationship Arjuna had with him. That's why he's trying to chime in Arjuna's name, Vijayarat Kutumbe, because he himself is related with Arjuna. So this way he is trying to put his card. He's trying to book his place. That's how you do, If you know some big man and there is some other person who is known to that big man and you know him, then you also have a link. They say that in 7 relations you can relate with anybody on this earth, right? You only need 7. So he is first one, second Arjuna, and then he is the grandfather. So that's why he says Vijayarat Kutumbe Atatotre Dhritai Rasmani Tatsriya Ikshaniye, that beauty. So that beauty is not, it's not that there is some special beauty on the chariot driving the horses. This is the beauty of the love. Because Krishna's love is manifest. And love is the only beauty. If you love somebody, that person is beautiful. To others, that person is ordinary. And when you don't love that person is also ordinary for you. Right? So the beauty is only in love. That's why they say that beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. Eye of the beholder who beholds with love, not otherwise. Otherwise everybody sees with eyes only. What is the big deal? So eye of the lover. Beholder is a wrong word. The beauty lies in the eye of the lover, not beholder. So that's why it is Utkarsha. So they say that this Partha Sarthi, Krishna even has a name. If you do some petty job, then you don't want others to see you. So like, others should not see me. Close the door. Nobody should see me. He says, no, I should be known as Partha Sarthi. Partha Sarthi means driver of Arjuna. That's what the word means. So he is happy because this is love. Somebody is first of all, no king, no royal person is going to drive a chariot of another relative. Forget it. He will get so upset. They asked Salva, Duryodhana asked this Shalya, that can you please drive the chariot of Karna? He got so mad at him. So how dare you can ask me this? I am a king and I am going to drive chariot of this fellow? He was ready to leave. And somehow he has to cajole him because Karna has to fight with Arjuna, so he wanted a good driver and only Salya could match. So he wanted. And Salya is the maternal uncle of Pandavas. But he was fighting from the other side. So he was very upset. And Krishna is saying, I am Partha Sarthi. So this is the difference. This is what he means, that how in this Leela, the high becomes low and low becomes high. Krishna turns everything upside down. Everything does Sirshasan here. So tatha utkrishtat santarashadapi nikrishtasya sringarasasya. And then generally in Sahitya, Shantaras is considered as high because coming from Jnana and not Sringaras. But here Shantaras has no value. People don't even count it. So he says, therefore Shringar Ras got the high position. Tatrapi dampatya bhavadapi opatya bhavasya. And even in Shringar Ras, there are two divisions. One is married relation, another is unmarried relation. So unmarried was made higher than the married one. Although in society it is the other way around. So tatha utkrishtād ratna alankārādapi nikrishtasya gunja gyārika shikipuchchāder utkarsho drishta eva iti. And then similarly he says, generally you consider somebody as a high person if he has got fancy dress, lot of ornaments, right? Which are those expensive watch and pendant, those brand glasses, shoes, right? What are the various famous brands? So if you have those, then you are considered as high class. And here Krishna is putting some gunja, some peacock feather. What is the value of peacock feather? Falls here and there. And some garrick, some brown color stone, rub it and make painting on the body. Then dress yourself, fruits, flowers, leaves from the forest. That's his dress. Vanyavesha. Karniyo karnikaram. So that is the beauty of it. So this is greatness. Then Sangata. So now he comments little more on Sangata. So Jar Buddhyapi Sangata. Sangata means they attained. So where did they attain? One is that they gave up their body and they attained him, they became liberated. No, he is not going for that meaning. He says they attained him in Rāsa-līlā. They went. So kaśyad yoga maya krita anukulyat nirodha muktva abhishritya tasyameva ratrau ras viharinam tam prapta. So some of them, not all, some of them, their obstacle was removed by yoga maya. And that very night they ran and they joined the Rāsa-līlā. Late. Sometimes people come late to the class. So they came late. So tasyameva ratrau ras viharinam tam prapta. So they attained Krishna who was enjoying rasa. And kaśyid anyasyam api, and some attained not that particular night but other night. So here the word Sangata is that they attained Krishna in Rāsa-līlā, which they wanted. So now because they became free from their Gunmaya Deha, he will explain what does it really mean and why they were blocked. Nanu Purushantaro upabhukta dehabhi stabhi saha bhagavad vilaso na yujyate iti tatraha jahurati. So now he raises an objection that how is that they were able to join Krishna in Rāsa-līlā because they were married and they had their husband and they were enjoyed by the husbands. So it is inappropriate that they will join Krishna in that body. So therefore he says Jahur Gunmayam Deham. He says not with that body. Deham iti Jatyapeksha Ekatvam. So there are many of them, so why Jahur Gunmayam Deham and not Deha, plural? So he says it is because of Deha here refers to class. So it refers to plural. Tasya dehasya yoga maya eva alakshitam antardhapanam iti eke. So one explanation is this, that they gave up their gunmaya deha, their material body, and they got a transcendental body. So what happened to the material body? So it says yoga maya cleaned it up. So nobody knew that the gopi actually died and she got a transcendental body which looks similar. And material body, what happened to that? So that was taken away by Yoga Maya. That is one explanation. So he doesn't like that explanation. He says that is too inauspicious, that they are dying. It's such an auspicious occasion of Rāsa-līlā and then gopis dying. Death creates already inauspiciousness, and in India somebody dies, then for 13 days there is a sutaka.
Bad taste.
After 13 days only you can cook meal in the house and do puja. So how is this? So therefore he says this is explanation by some. Anyatu evamahu. He says some others say like this, which means this is what he says. And this is a very nice explanation. So he says, Atra heyo deho gunmaya eva bhavati ato gunmayamiti visheshanasya adhikyat. So here there are two things. He says, Jahur gunmayam deham. So why the word gunmayam has to be added here? If they gave up the body, then the body must be gunmaya only. Gunmaya means made of material gunas. So if they are giving, because transcendental body cannot be given up. And if they gave up the body, it must be material only. So why say gunmayam deham? So he says, it makes no sense. This gunmaya, the word gunmaya is unnecessary here. So whenever there is something unnecessary, that means there is some big secret. Remember this, in Shastra, whenever there is some word which is really not needed, that shows that there is a big secret behind it. Always. This is a trick. So people will generally overlook it because it looks so simple and straightforward, but there will be a very big gem hidden behind it. So that is what he is unearthing now. So therefore he says Visheshanasya adhikyat. He says this qualifier gunmayam deham. Gunmayam means made of guna. Deha means body. So body made of guna. He says this body made of guna, this made of guna is extra. It's not needed. So therefore it must have some meaning. So what is the meaning? He says tasam deha venu vadanat purvam dvidha bhuta gunmayas chinmayascha asaniti buddhate. He says from this it is understood that before Krishna played on the flute, their bodies were mixture of two things. There was a mixture of materialism and spiritualism. Means that body consisted of something material and also spiritual in it. So it was two in one. So out of that, only the Gunmaya one was dropped and the Chinmaya remained. So their body was Gunmaya plus Chinmaya, material plus spiritual. Certain percentage material, certain percentage spiritual. And now it all became completely spiritual. Because Krishna could not meet with them if they had any tinge of materialism. So that is the meaning. So therefore it says, Deha Venu Vadanat Purvam Dvidha Bhuta Gunmayas Chinmayas Cha Asaniti Buddhate. He says from this qualifier it is understood that their bodies were having two divisions in them, the Chinmaya and Gunmaya, material and spiritual. Tatra ye Gunmayaha Swapatya Bhukta Deha Staneva Jahu. So it is the material body which was enjoyed by their husbands, because the husband could not be enjoying the spiritual body. So it is that one which was given up. So this also is difficult. What does it mean? Did they have two? Or did they have one? Is it that one had certain percentage of materialism and certain percentage of spiritual, or they actually had material and inside the material there was a spiritual? How was it? So that he is going to explain now. I am Atra Vivek. We'll read that tomorrow.
Keep them in suspense.
Yes. So any question on this?
You mentioned the difference between the Mahishis and the Gopis, and how, socially speaking, the Mahishis are much higher and royalty is higher, but spiritually speaking, the Gopis are higher. And there's these divisions of Samanjasa and Samartha. That the Mahishis are Samanjasa, they have very high love for Krishna, but the Gopis have Samartha, and Samartha means they're capable of controlling Krishna. The love of the Mahishis, described as Samanjasa, is high, but they cannot control Krishna by that love.
Samanjasa does not mean high.
What does it mean?
Samanjasa means appropriate.
Appropriate. Oh, proper. Acha. Okay, thank you.
Means their love is appropriate, means acceptable in society.
Acha.
That is called samanjasa. Okay, Sandeep.
Like in the beginning of the lecture, you said that someone can give a material activity which gives more pleasure than he can give something which is not giving, and like which is giving less suffering. So if somebody is doing some material activity considering as a duty, then this concentration is avoided.
What concentration?
This concentration that if I'm doing an activity considering that as a duty, it may be giving suffering, and if I get some other thing which is giving less suffering,
Yeah, then
so
you'll give up that and take the other one.
but then what is the meaning of duty? Like in the beginning of Gita, he is saying that you have to do your duty, like that kartavya, and it is your duty to fight.
Yeah, if you have the facility to give up, you will give up, otherwise you continue.
Okay, even the duty can be given up if there is something which is less suffering or giving more pleasure.
Yeah, if you have to take a lift and if you have to go by staircase, which one do you take? Even if so even if it is your duty, then you see, okay, I can do it this way, which is less problematic. So I do it that way.
Okay, the same duty, if some activity is enabling you to perform in a less suffering way, then you will take that.
No, that's what they say, to follow the path of least resistance.
Okay.
Mohini.
I had a question. What does it mean, Sahitya? Does this mean just Indian literature or Vedic literature or philosophical literature? And that Shantaras is considered higher than Shringaras from Sahitic point of view. So what is this Sahitic? What is Sahitya?
It's very difficult to explain it. Certain things, they don't have a proper English translation. Just like the word nyaya, niti, or dharma. It's very difficult to translate it in English. I mean, this literature, etc., are just words. Sahitya actually means, saha means together. So it comes from that. So basically what it really means, that which describes relationship. You will not find this kind of explanation anywhere. That's what I'm saying. It's difficult. I'm just trying to explain from the word. So all the stories, whether it is Shantaras, Dasyaras, this ras, that ras, the books which describe these stories related with rasa, those books are called Sahitya. So in that there are two types of literature, as I already said. One is which defines these things, what is Shantaras, what is Vatsalya rasa, etc. And others which are plays, like plays written by Kalidasa or Rupa Goswami or Magha. So in those books they tell stories of some great kings, or generally stories of kings, and that they bring out the various types of emotions and rasas and depict them. So that is called Sahitya.
So this Sahitya already has this outline, or in English. They have this understanding that Vairagya is higher than acting out on lower emotions or acting out on attachments. So this is a fundamental understanding of, or a basic understanding of Sahitic literature, that Vairagya is higher than being attached.
There are 4 Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha, right? So which one is higher?
It depends.
What depends?
If a person is following
No,
moksha,
not following. Among the 4 Purusharthas, Moksha is the highest, you don't know that?
yes, but someone who is following has a karma as aim, for him is karma the highest. Yes, moksha is highest, yes.
So moksha is based on Vairagya. Moksha is Santras. And Kama, Sringaras is Kama.
Okay.
So which is higher, Kama or Moksha?
Moksha, yeah, so this...
So this everybody knows in India. In India, a rickshawala also knows that Moksha is higher than Kama. It's not some big philosophical point here in India. In India, everybody knows that Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Kama is the lowest. Artha, then Dharma, and then Moksha. Everybody knows this.
And on this understanding, Sahitic literature is coming to this conclusion.
So therefore, Sahitya is teaching about moksha. It is Bhakti which teaches about prema. So there they teach about moksha, therefore Shantarasa is the best.
Yes, yes.
Bhakti is not even counted as rasa there. Okay. Yeah.
In the same vein, how you translate Samartha, Rati?
Samartha means powerful.
Thank you.
Okay. You can do anything.